Happy Sabbath, good people. Today we will go straight to the point, and we will speak the Sabbath truth to William Ruto and his new government. We will be guided by the maxim that to lie to the king is to commit high treason. Mr. President, sir, the most fragile period of a new government is the first 6 months of its tenure. This period attracts the devil himself. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong during the first 6 months. It is called Murphy's Law.
Yes.
And today, the devil is at work in our country. In Nairobi, for instance, women cannot walk the streets wearing wigs. The hustlers have started snatching them. And when they break into your house, the first thing they ask for is food. Then they eat and they lick the pots clean. These young men are hungry, literally. But they are also vicious. Not because they are naturally bad, they are just ungoverned. Just the other day, they stabbed a 24-year-old young man in Ridgeways, Nairobi. They took his phone and they killed him. His poor mother was inconsolable. His family was shattered, hoping they could reverse this loss. And that was the work of the devil. Or was it? We submit that the new government went on honeymoon and did not return home for 2 months. Instead of getting down to work, they are still licking some honey in enjoyment. They cannot believe that they have won. In the meantime, their new IG of police, Mr. Japheth Koome, has ordered police to kill these young hustlers. And his logic is simple. If 3% of the youth are criminals, we must eliminate them to secure the 97% of youth who are good. But we have a problem with this logic. If we have 30 million youth, 3% gives us 900,000 youths. The Koome logic is to liquidate the 900,000 youths so that the balance of 21 million can be safe. This sounds like legal genocide. What is our point here? The election is over. The government is now in the hands of William Ruto. And the hustler gangsters are just a bunch of ungoverned youths pumping with hormones. If the government fails to organize them, they will organize the government. Then the next thing the devil will send is a terror attack. But the question is whether this will be the work of the devil or the work of a sleeping government.
Whoa.
Those who live on the mountaintops have the best view of the valleys, and those who live in the valley have the best view of the mountains.
Yes.
And because Ruto is now living on the mountaintops, we have to give him a picture of how he looks from the valley, where the hustlers and the Watus are based. And to reiterate what Tuje has just said, to lie to the king is to commit high treason. This is why we will shoot straight. Mr. President, sir, from the valley where we are based, your security reforms are limping. And on this, we could be wrong. However, this is the picture we are seeing as we gaze at the mountaintops where you live. Intelligence from the valley tells us that you have chosen weak people in your security reforms, and the thugs from the valley can see this. For instance, Kindiki is not John Mishuki, who was Interior Minister under Kibaki. In the eyes of the valley thugs, Kindiki cannot scare a terrorist, and that is why they are toying with him. In our view from the valley, Ruto was obsessed with rewarding loyalty, and that is why he picked a weak man for this job. And Uhuru Kenyatta made the same mistake in his first term. Because he wanted to reward loyalty over competence, he chose Joseph Olelenku as his interior minister. This man was an assistant beverages manager at Utali Hotel. He was chosen to do the right job using the wrong skills. He was bound to fail. Under him, we had the worst terrorist attack at Westgate Mall and Garissa University. Then Uhuru abandoned his obsession with loyalty and went for competence. He fired Olelenku and hired General Nkaiseri. This general was actually an opposition MP. But in his search for competence, Uhuru reached out to the opposition and fixed our insecurity problem. Thereafter, Matiang'i was appointed as Interior Minister following the death of Nkaissery. If Kenyans are wondering why crime has gone up, it is because Kindiki is not John Mwishuki and he is not General Nkaissery. We have another beverage manager running our internal security affairs. And this is the Sabbath Truth from the valley where we are based.
But when I gaze at the mountaintops from the valley where I am based, I see a different picture. That is why I have a different Sabbath truth. For starters, the country should give President Ruto a chance. And they should also give Kindiki a chance. If Kindiki becomes another Olelenku, Ruto will fix the problem. If loyalty is more important to Ruto than competence, he must know why he is doing it. And if he fails doing it, it is also okay. Before Thomas Edison discovered the electric bulb, he did 100 experiments or so. They all failed. But on his 101 experiment, he broke the jinx. The bulb finally went on. And intrigued by his persistence, the media asked him to explain. This is what Edison said. Each time my experiment failed, I recorded one way it will not work. He further explained that failure is the best teacher. One cannot learn to make the right decisions without the liberty to make the wrong decisions. You fell down the first time you tried to walk. You almost drowned the first time you tried to swim. But out of these failures, we learn one way it will not work. The tragedy, therefore, is not to fail. The tragedy is to fail to try. And to quote Edison again, show me a thoroughly satisfied man, and I will show you a man who has failed half his life. If AX is therefore saying that Ruto security reforms are failing, she is telling us, without telling us, that Ruto is about to discover the electric bulb. That the first time Ruto tried to walk as a baby, he fell. The first time he tried to swim, he almost drowned. But he is now president because the only failure you cannot forgive is a failure to try. And on Japheth Koome and killing 3% of our criminals, my Sabbath truth is different to that of 2J. 2J called Koome's logic woolly, but I disagree. And my point of reference here is John Mishuki, the Interior Minister, under Kibaki. Mishuki finished the Mungiki menace by liquidating them. He did not kill all of them or kill 3% of the youth, but he killed enough criminals to scare Mungiki to its absolute death. In my view, Japheth Koome is using the Mishuki methods, and history has shown us that he will succeed, and succeed he will.